What if I told you that a single bark could shatter years of lies? That loyalty could expose corruption where human justice failed? Tonight, I'm sharing the most incredible story you'll ever hear about a woman facing execution, her final wish to see her dog, and how that moment changed everything. This isn't just about justice. This is about the unbreakable bond between a woman and her best friend, and how sometimes the truth comes with 4 paws and a wagging tail. But before we begin, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click the like button if you like our videos. It really helps us out a lot. Thanks. Back to the story. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead in cell block C, casting harsh shadows across concrete walls that had witnessed countless final nights. But tonight felt different. Tonight, the air itself seemed to hold its breath. Sarah sat on the edge of her narrow cot, her prison jumpsuit wrinkled from sleepless hours. Tomorrow morning, at precisely 6 a.m., her life would end. The appeals had been exhausted. The governor had denied clemency. After 8 years on death row, her time had finally run out. Most people in her position would be pacing, screaming, or breaking down completely. But Sarah remained eerily calm, her weathered hands folded in her lap, her eyes fixed on a small crack in the wall that had become her companion through countless lonely nights. She wasn't thinking about her fate anymore. She was thinking about Bella. The German Shepherd had been just a puppy when Sarah first found her, abandoned behind a gas station on a rainy October night. Those were different times. Before the arrest, before the trial, before everything fell apart. Bella had grown from a scared, shivering ball of fur into a magnificent dog with intelligent brown eyes and unwavering loyalty. When the police came for Sarah that terrible morning 3 years ago, Bella had tried to protect her, barking furiously at the officers, positioning herself between her master and the handcuffs. It was the last time they'd seen each other. The heavy steel door clanged open, interrupting her memories. Warden Silver stepped inside, flanked by 2 guards. The older man's face was grim, but not unkind. He'd overseen dozens of executions, but each one still weighed on him. "Sarah," the warden said quietly, "it's time for your final request." The condemned woman looked up slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to see Bella." The guards exchanged puzzled glances. In all their years of service, they'd heard requests for last meals, phone calls to family, even visits from clergy, but never this. "Your dog?" Warden Silvers asked, his eyebrows raised. Sarah nodded, her eyes glistening. "She's all I have left. She's the only one who never gave up on me, never stopped believing I was innocent. I can't leave this world without saying goodbye." The request sparked immediate debate. Officer Rodriguez shook his head firmly. "It's not protocol, Warden. This is a maximum security facility, not a pet store." But Officer Davis, who had a German Shepherd of his own, felt differently. "What's the harm? It's her final wish." The argument continued in hushed tones outside Sarah's cell. Some worried about security risks, others about setting precedents. But Warden Silvers found himself thinking about his own dog, a golden retriever named Buddy, who greeted him every evening with unconditional joy. "Bring the dog," he decided finally. "If this is what gives her peace, we'll make it happen." The next morning, something unprecedented occurred at Maxfield Correctional Facility. The main gates opened not for a prison transport or official vehicle, but for an animal control van carrying one very special passenger. Bella emerged from the van like a queen surveying her domain. Her black and tan coat gleamed in the morning sunlight, her ears alert, her powerful frame moving with graceful confidence. The handlers who'd brought her were amazed by her composure. Most dogs would be terrified in such an environment, but Bella seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. Word spread quickly through the prison. Inmates pressed their faces against cell windows, watching in amazement as the German Shepherd was led through the corridors. Many of these hardened criminals had tears in their eyes, remembering their own pets from better times. The visitation room had been specially prepared. Extra security was in place, but the atmosphere was strangely reverent. Even the most cynical guards found themselves moved by what they were about to witness. Sarah was brought in first, her shackles clanking softly with each step. She sat in the metal chair, her heart pounding so hard she was sure everyone could hear it. 8 years since she'd seen her best friend. Then the door opened and Bella entered. Time stopped. The dog froze for a heartbeat, her nostrils flaring as she caught a familiar scent. Then recognition flooded her intelligent eyes, and she let out a sound that was part whine, part cry of joy. It was the sound of a heart breaking and healing simultaneously. "Bella," Sarah whispered, and the dog lunged forward with such force that 2 handlers struggled to control her. When they finally let Bella approach, the reunion was magical. The massive dog pressed against Sarah's legs, her tail wagging so hard her entire body shook. She licked her master's hands, her face anywhere she could reach, as if trying to erase years of separation with pure love. Sarah buried her face in Bella's fur, breathing in that familiar scent of loyalty and devotion. "I missed you so much, girl," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry I left you." For 10 precious minutes, the room was filled with nothing but quiet sobs and the soft sounds of a woman and her dog reconnecting. Even the guards found themselves wiping their eyes, witnessing a bond that prison walls could never break. But then, Bella's behavior changed dramatically. The dog's ears snapped to attention, her body going rigid. A low growl rumbled from deep in her chest as her eyes fixed on something behind Sarah. The sound grew louder, more insistent, filled with warning rather than fear. "What is it, girl?" Sarah asked, confused by her dog's sudden agitation. Bella's growls intensified as she strained against her leash, her gaze locked on Officer Brady, who stood near the back wall. The man shifted uncomfortably under the dog's intense stare, his hand moving instinctively toward his jacket. "Control that animal," Brady snapped, but his voice cracked slightly. Bella wouldn't be silenced. She barked furiously, her hackles raised, every instinct screaming that something was wrong. This wasn't random aggression. This was a warning, urgent and desperate. The dog lunged toward Brady with such force that she broke free from the handlers. She pawed at the officer's jacket, whining and barking, refusing to back down despite the chaos erupting around her. "Get her off me!" Brady shouted. But as he stepped back, something metallic clattered to the floor. A small recording device skittered across the tiles. The room fell silent except for Bella's continued barking. All eyes fixed on the device, then on Officer Brady, whose face had gone pale. "What is that?" Warden Silvers demanded, his voice cutting through the tension. Brady's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Bella continued to bark, circling the officer, her message clear. This man was hiding something. Under the weight of everyone's stares and the dog's relentless accusations, Brady finally cracked. "It wasn't her," he blurted out, his voice barely audible. "Sarah didn't kill anyone. I framed her." The confession hit the room like a physical blow. Sarah's head snapped up, disbelief and hope warring in her eyes. The guards stood frozen, processing what they'd just heard. "I was jealous," Brady continued, the words pouring out now. "She had everything I wanted. The promotion, the respect, the recognition. So I planted evidence, falsified reports, made sure she'd take the fall for what I did." Bella finally fell silent, sitting beside Sarah as if her job was done. Her tail wagged slowly, her eyes bright with satisfaction. She'd known. Somehow, she'd always known. Warden Silver's voice was steel. Stop the execution. Now, the next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Lawyers were called, evidence was re-examined, and Brady's confession was recorded officially. The truth had been buried for 8 years, finally saw daylight. All because a loyal dog refused to let injustice stand. 3 months later, Sarah walked out of Maxfield Correctional Facility, a free woman. The morning sun felt different on her face, warmer, brighter, full of possibility instead of finality. Bella was waiting for her at the gates, her tail wagging so hard her entire body wiggled with joy. This time, there were no chains, no guards, no walls between them, just a woman and her dog, together again. Sarah knelt on the sidewalk, wrapping her arms around Bella's neck as tears of gratitude streamed down her face. "You saved me, girl," she whispered. "You never gave up on me." The media called it a miracle. Legal experts debated the implications. But for Sarah, it was simply proof of something she'd always known, that love and loyalty could overcome any obstacle, even death itself. As they walked away from the prison together, Bella's leash loose in Sarah's hand, both of them free under the endless sky, one truth echoed in every heart that had witnessed their story. Sometimes justice comes not from judges or juries, but from the pure, unwavering love of a faithful friend who refuses to let truth stay buried. And sometimes, the most important testimony comes not from a witness stand, but from 4 paws, a wagging tail, and a heart that knows no bounds. Bella had done more than save her master's life. She'd restored faith in the power of loyalty, the strength of love, and the beautiful truth that some bonds can never be broken, not by time, not by distance, and certainly not by the walls of any prison. Their story became legend, spreading across the country like wildfire. News outlets picked up the incredible tale of the dog who saved her owner from execution. Documentary filmmakers came calling. Book deals were offered. But Sarah turned them all down, preferring to live quietly with Bella in a small cottage by the lake. Every morning, they walked together along the water's edge, Bella's tail wagging as she chased seagulls and splashed in the shallows. Sarah would sit on their favorite bench, watching her beloved companion play, still amazed by the miracle that had brought them back together. Sometimes, visitors would recognize them and ask to hear the story. Sarah would smile and pet Bella's head, her voice soft with gratitude. "She's not just my dog," she would say. "She's my guardian angel, my savior, my proof that love never gives up." And Bella, as if understanding every word, would wag her tail and rest her head on Sarah's lap, her eyes bright with the same unwavering devotion that had saved them both. Their love story had become more than just a tale of justice served. It was a testament to the power of loyalty, the strength of the human-animal bond, and the beautiful truth that sometimes the most important voices are the ones that bark instead of speak. In a world that often seemed dark and hopeless, Sarah and Bella's story shone like a beacon, reminding everyone who heard it that love truly can conquer all, even death itself. Thanks for watching till the end. Here's another video I suggest you watch.